Lisa here with a little Monday morning musing. I keep getting encouraged energetically when it comes to what's going on out in the world to stay above the fray. Just stay above the fray, right above it all. Try not to get mired down in the muck and the junk that's going on all around us. And that is often easier said than done. So I started thinking about how can we actually do this? Can we do this with everything? Not just politics, not just, what we see on our news feeds or in the news, things like that. But what about in life? Because if we believe Gandhi, that we need to be the change that we want to see in the world, then we know that all change out there, which I think most of us want to see some kind of change out there, regardless of which side of the change you want to see. Most of us believe that change needs to happen of some sort in some way. But if we believe Gandhi and that all change starts in here, we better get freaking busy because there's a lot to do out there. So, but the idea, be the change you want to see in the world, stay above the fray. How do we do that? And the truth is we do that through this thing called transmutation, through this thing called alchemy. People say, what the hell is alchemy? You sound like some medieval chemist or something. The truth is alchemy is simply the act of changing the energy of something, my preferred method, through the application of love. So can we change the energy through applying more love? And the answer is yes. And so I started thinking, but is this true always? What about in the case of spiders and snakes? What about in the case of piles of dog fur all over the house? What about in the case of chubby little cheeks that have been brought on by quarantine? Can we find love for these things? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to walk you through some very practical examples of changing the energy of things simply by changing our thoughts and looking for opportunities to love more and judge less. So let's start with spiders and snakes. Not exactly my favorite things. For many of you, in fact, they might be kind of fear-inducing. I know my mom, the only time I ever think I'm going to see her completely plot, pass out in the yard, is if she encounters a snake. Freaks her out. Sitting on the porch this weekend, see some huge spider webs on the porch, huge spider webs, which means there are some huge spiders somewhere. Not a big fan of spiders. However, I realized that horseflies have been caught in these spider webs. And the horseflies were freaking driving me nuts on the porch because they're everywhere and they're kind of mean and they're all over the place. These spider webs were catching the horseflies and I'm like, wow. I was actually really grateful. Thank you, spider webs, for catching the horseflies because, there was not a single horsefly bothering me while I had my morning coffee on the porch. So big gratitude to, those spiders that spun those webs. It also got me thinking about snakes though, because still a little apprehensive about snakes. But I used to have a house where I had a pool outside and the pool was a snake magnet. I mean, it was just a snake magnet. And I lived in the country and they would get in the drain spinny thing, whatever the thing's called. And I'd have to get them out and deal with the snakes. So one day I had my little garden shears and I thought, okay, I'm going to get the snake by the neck, pull it over across the grass and snip its little head off, right? I thought I had this all planned out. The problem was the garden shears were really, really dull. Really, really dull. So when I snipped, I swear I heard the snake scream. It was like, ah! Screaming snake. I don't even know if they can scream, but in my mind, this snake was screaming and I'm like, oh God, this is terrible. I mean, I felt really, really, really bad. So I made a deal with all the snakes. From then on out, you come on my pool, I will put you, try to get you out in the net, put you over the fence, but don't come back and don't bring your friends and stay out of my pool. And the crazy thing is I had far fewer snakes in the pool after that. But what I realized is that I felt a little compassion for this poor screaming snake. And by just applying a little bit more love, it actually helped me in needing to interact with and kind of deal with snakes in the future. The other thing I did was learn more. If I can learn more about the dangerous snakes or about the dangerous spiders, then I don't have to see every single one of them as being dangerous. I know that there's just a handful that are. And I thought about, have I ever actually been bitten by a snake or a spider? And the answer is no. I have this wild, irrational fear that I have no reason, nothing to base it on, other than I've been taught to fear spiders and snakes. So through all of that, I was able to shift my thoughts around spiders and snakes to, just by using love. A little gratitude, a little appreciation, a little love. Then there was the issue of the great big English Mastiff who used to live in my house. And her name was Rosie. And she was the sweetest cuddle bug of a dog. She had no idea she was ginormous. And she'd get up in my lap. But here's the thing. Rosie shed like a beast. I mean, like a beast. We had hardwood floor in the house. And every time I opened a door or shut a door, whatever, I would find these little piles of Rosie fur all over the place. And I'm like, oh God, dog, so much fur. Until the one day when my daughter, she was little, she was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 at the time. And she looks down, she goes, oh, look, angel feathers. To her, the dog's fur in little piles on the floor looked like angel feathers. And that's all I needed to completely shift my attitude around to go from being frustrated by dog fur on the floor, shedding everywhere, to, oh my God, it's like angel feathers, and kind of actually appreciating it instead. So that was just a fun shift around that. Now, more recently, I have been dealing with the need to shift my attitude about my chubby cheeks. Because you see all of this, all of this. I got quarantined, thank for this. And I could be pissed off about it. Because, it wasn't that long ago. I lost 50 pounds. I was looking good. I was feeling good. I was feeling healthy. Quarantine hit. I'm out encouraging people, oh, get outside and do your exercise. And I tried for a while. And then I'll be honest, my therapy became tortilla chips and chocolate. So I wasn't hitting a bottle, which I guess is good, but tortilla chips and chocolate, and my face ballooned up. Now, I could be really hard on myself and really pissed off about the fact that I undid all this progress that I had done, but instead, I've decided that these little chipmunk monsters are kind of cute. And not that I want to keep them forever, but how about I just appreciate them while they're there? Because you know what? I'm going to smile regardless. And apparently I'm going to get on here and talk to you no matter how many chins I have. So yes, I can choose to do something about it. And I am. And I'm grateful for that. But it's a lot more fun to do something about a challenge if we're not hating on the challenge and instead deciding to have some fun with it. Because why not? We can choose that. And that's a lot kinder to me. If every time I look in a mirror, or heaven forbid, see my face on the screen, I'm not going, oh my God, look at all those problems, but instead saying, hey, we've all been through some shit. And this is apparently how I dealt with it and got through the stuff. And I now can deal with it in a different way, and in a way that will be even better for my energy and even better for my health and, whatever, moving on. Not about aesthetics, more about energy. And there's something about appreciating the chipmunk cheeks. They're cute on babies, right? We love to squeeze them on babies, on old gals. Not so much. But that's okay. Rather than hate on them, we can just appreciate them for where they are right now. And, it kind of reminds me of Fat Amy in the Pitch Perfect movies. She calls herself Fat Amy, and the girls are like, you call yourself Fat Amy? She's like, yeah. Figure I'll do it because so that all you twig bitches won't be doing it behind my back. I'm like, amen. So just enjoy the chubby cheeks. Enjoy the angel feathers in the floor. Appreciate the snakes and the spiders for the job that they're actually doing. When we can do that with the little things within our own lives, we have a much greater opportunity and capacity to be able to do that with the big things that surround us as well. The person who keeps posting whatever it may be on social media that's in complete opposition to the thing we believe, can we send them love? Can we appreciate something about them that they're so passionate or whatever? Can we take these little opportunities to experience the love and gratitude and the non-judgment in our own lives to then extend that gift into the world around us? To me, that's what being a light worker or a light alchemist or a transmuter is all about, is how can I take the negativity and shift it? Oftentimes the shift is here or it's right here in our hearts. But when we can extend it to those, especially those that piss us off, man, the wild thing is it's incredibly freeing to do that. Not only does it help anchor in more light, but it's incredibly liberating to our own mind and to our own heart and our spirit to be able to give love, to give gratitude, to give compassion, to give forgiveness, to give whatever that's of a higher vibrational frequency, that's of a, just higher energy, rather than let all the opposite of that weigh us down. So if we're going to stay above the fray, we can practice on the big things, but when we can really nail staying above the fray and shifting the way we think and feel about things on the little things like snakes and spiders, dog fur, and chubby cheeks, it gives us a lot more power to be able to do it on the big, important things in the world too. So let's be the change we want to see in the world. If we want to see more love, let's be more loving. If we want to see more peace, let's be more peaceful. That doesn't mean turning a blind eye to all the wild, bat crazy bullshit that's going on out in the world, but it does mean acknowledging it and seeing, where can I shift this through love? How can I offer more love, more compassion, more forgiveness, less judgment, less fear, in a way to raise the light everywhere, inside us and outside us. The world needs you to do exactly that, and you'll feel better if you do too. So I hope you have a fantastic day. This is your Monday morning musing. Now go on and experience some love and some joy in this day. See ya.